Professor Iqbal Asaria was a trained economist and was chosen as a member of the working party set up by the Governor of the Bank of England to look into issues relating to Islamic housing and finance products in the UK. He was awarded a CBE in 2005 for his services to international development, and in the late 1980s he was the editor-in-chief of Afkar, a groundbreaking news and analysis journal published in London. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is a follow-up to my talk in the beginning of Ramadan, where we looked at one of the more famous and controversial poems of Allama Iqbal, which was called Shikwa. In Shikwa, essentially, Iqbal questions Allah's faithfulness. He says, we did so much for you and you have left us with nothing, except for maybe some vague promises of who is in heaven. What is this? How can you treat your loyal servants like this? This created quite a stir, and lots of people wanted to brand him as a, unbeliever. He said, what's this? So he penned this response, and so the response is also very, very strong. Yeah? I'll read this only one or two in Urdu and the rest in English, and then translate it for you. So the response begins by saying, दिल से जो बात निकलती है असर रखती है, पर नहीं ताकते परवाज मगर रखती है, कुछ सिवल असल है रिफ़त पे नज़र रखती है, खाक से उठती है गर्दों पे गुज़र रखती है, इश्क था फितना गरो शरकश और चालाक मेरा, आसमान चीर गया नाले बेबा के मेरा. So it says, words that come from the heart's depth never fail to leave an imprint. Even wingless, they possess the power of flight. Pure in their origin, their sight remains on high. They rise from the material world and move towards the sky. So wild and candid was the seditious nature of my love, that my fearless lamentation tore beyond the heavens. In fact, now he posts a scene where this heartfelt lament reaches the heavens, and everybody in the heavens gets puzzled as to what has happened. What is this? Where is it coming from? Who is this? In wonderment, the age-old sky exclaimed, someone seems to be about. The circling planets agreed, someone has truly reached the heavens. Maybe this is someone from the earth, exclaimed the moon. The Milky Way joined in the conversation. Someone is here for sure. But कुछ जो समझा तो मेरे शिकवे को रिजवां समझा. Only the guardian of paradise, the guardian angels of paradise, understood the warmth of my complaint. मुझे जन्नत से निकाला हुआ इंसान समझा. They understood, and he knew it was the man from heaven who was once exiled. Taken by surprise, the angels were outraged by this lamenting voice. The heavenly world was puzzled by the nature of this secret. The angels asked, how could a mortal voice reach the Empyrean? They wondered how a speck of dust could learn the art of flight. How little of the laws of conduct have they? See how little respect they have of how to behave. So insolent and overbearing are these people from the earth. How great is this man's impudence that he dares question God. Is he child of that same Adam to whom the angels had once bowed? He understands how things are run but fails to grasp the mysteries beyond. In truth, he does not demonstrate humility. The foolish mortals pride themselves upon their power of speech. बात करने का सलीका नहीं नादानों को. But know now how to speak, but know not how to speak when they behold the Lord. How can somebody talk to Allah like this in Shikwa as he talked? But then a sympathetic voice came. Your tale is full of sorrow. The cup brims full with tears that you cannot contain. Your fervent cry has moved the heavens above. Your wild, impassioned heart is full of fierce song. So eloquent, it changed your grievance into thanks. Shukr shikwe ko kiya husn adab se tune. Because of the grace of the complaint, it became not a complaint but thanks to Allah. For you have bridged the gap between man and God on high. Okay, now Iqbal paints a picture that there is commotion in the heavens. There is this complaint which has reached, which is really deep felt. And people are saying either the man is insolent, intolerant, unmannered, and so on. But they say, okay, this is the complaint. So now let's see. We always would show kindness, but there is none that seeks, Allah says. To whom should we show guidance? There are no travelers on this path. Our grace is everywhere, but not a single soul deserves it. You are not the clay from which another Adam could be made. If you are worthy, we would raise you up upon a royal throne. A new world full of wonder is unveiled for every earnest seeker. Like in the Quran, Allah says, Ujib da'wati da'i, I will reply to those who ask. But here Iqbal says there is nobody to ask. Nobody is asking. Nobody is worthy of asking. So why are you grumbling? Gone are the days when thy Lord was thought of as transcendent, when the flower of faith reigned supreme over the season, when the faithful loved no one but the one and only God, only Lord. In those days you adored the beloved, but not so any longer. Go make yourselves the slave of some provincial godling. Millat Ahmad ko makami kar lo. This one ummat of Muhammad, just make it into split nations worshipping different kinds of gods and localize the universal realm of the beloved. It has become a heavy task for you to rise at dawn. You say you love me, but it is your sleep that you adore. Fasting has become too burdensome a restraint upon your liberty. Answer me with truthfulness. Is this the way of faith? Nations are born from faith. Without it, they are nothing. When gravitation ceases, so too do the constellation of the stars. And he goes on. Now he brings those things which he brought in the Shikwa as complaints from men. Then Allah asks him, who blotted out the pages of falsehood from the world? Who set free human beings from the chain of slavery? Who adorned my holy house with their foreheads? Who reverently clutched to their hearts my glorious book? The credit for such deeds is for your ancestors. You now sit idly by and wait for a glorious future. You can't rely on your ancestors to salvage you. Did you protest that the faithful are promised only houris? The complaint is unreasonable and its nature impolite. Your Lord has made eternal justice to be the overwhelming rule. When the unfaithful take up the way of truth, they also merit heaven. Yet there is barely anyone who aspires to these pleasures. The light of Mount Sinai is there, but alas, no Moses. seeks it. You are in truth one people, just as profit and loss are one. There is but one beloved, one religion, one belief. There is one holy house, one Lord, and just one holy book. Was it so onerous then to come together as a single faithful nation? Alas, sectarianism, class, and caste are what you value most of all. Are these the ways to progress and to prosper in these times? You remember that in Shikwa, Iqbal says, "Ek hi saf mein khade ho gaye, Mahmud Ayaz na koi ban." We all stood together. There was no distinction between us. We went together as an ummah. Here Iqbal says, now look what you have done to yourselves. You divided into different nations, classes, genders, all kinds of things, and weakened yourself. Who threw off the code and ethics of the Lord's beloved? Lord's beloved here refers to the Prophet. Who took social status as a mark of success? Who has been beguiled by foreign customs and outsiders' ways? Who has turned away their focus from the morals of their forefathers? There is no passion in your hearts, and your souls are void of spirit. The words of God's beloved count as unimportant. You have no importance for the Prophet's words. They that gather at the house of worship are none but the poor. If any take upon themselves the hardship of fasting, it is they alone. It is the humble poor who still revere my blessed name. With genuine humility, they shroud your misdeeds and your shame. Drunk with your desire for the riches of this world, you have forgotten me. Yet the zeal of faith lives to the heart of the poor. Loud is the mourning of the faithful who have left this world. I ask, were the faithful to be found present anywhere today? Yun to Sayyid bhi ho, Mirza bhi ho, Afghan bhi ho. Okay? You call yourself Sayyid or Mirza or Afghan and the rest. Tum sabhi kuch ho, batao to Musalman bhi ho. Whoever you may be, do you claim to be amongst the truly faithful Muslims? Self-ruin is your chosen path, but your fathers marched ahead. You despised brotherhood, and yet they cherished it. You are all talk while they were men of deeds. You wish for a single flower bud. They had garden full of bloom. The world will not forget their glorious deeds. Their acts are written on the scroll of time. And finally, of course this is selecting from Jawab Shikwa, it's not the whole of it. And this is a little bit of advice to those Muslims who are grumbling in the Shikwa. Intellect is your shield and love your sword. My dear Dervish, vice regency of the world is here at your command. Your clarion call, God is great, shall be your burning flame. If you are truly faithful, then hold fast to your faith. Be sincere to the beloved, then we are surely with you. This world is nothing for the tablet, and the pen will be your prize. So this is the reply to the Shikwa, right? Why are you grumbling? You are no longer what you claim to have been. You have left everything, you have divided yourself, you have gone into sectarianism and class and race and all kinds of things. You have even difficulty in praying and fasting. You are adopting all kinds of ways and means, and then you are grumbling. Don't grumble. Go back to the path, and then your complaint will no longer be valid. And one last thing, Iqbal in his life, as he moved towards through his life, especially after his visit to Spain and Cordoba, his poem called Masjid Cordoba depicts quite a change in his worldview. The problem he saw there, those of you who have been to Cordoba will know that in the main mosque in Cordoba, in the center of it, they have put a church. And he calls this dagger in the heart of Islam. It affected him so much that he became very much interested in the Quran itself. And many of his writings then were reflecting of some of the Quranic verses. So you see, for example, in Asrar Khudi, he says, Khudi ko kar buland itna कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुद खुदा बंदे से पूछे बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है. Raise yourself to such a level, oh man, that before deciding anything about your fate, even Allah will ask you, tell me what is your wish, and I can implement it. Very similar to the Quranic verse, Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutmainna irjihi raziyatam marziya udkhuli fil ibadi udkhulil jannah. Yeah? O soul, which is content, come. We welcome you to the gardens of paradise with your companions and so on. Whatever you want is available to you. So Iqbal many times mirrors this in his poems. And here also he comes close to that. He said, look, if you want something, you have to work for it. Don't rely on the work of your forefathers and say, my forefathers did that and my forefathers did that. That's gone. It's for them, not for you. Assalamu alaikum.